Hi, I'm Lars. Welcome back to the shop, farm shop today. I don't know which one you want to pick. Today I'm going to start working on this Cub Cadet. I think it's an M60. It's a Recon. It's a tank, basically, is what they call it. It's a Cub Cadet Tank 60-inch mower. So let me tell you some of the symptoms. When you're driving it, you know, cutting the grass and everything, it runs great for a little bit, probably about 30 minutes or so, and then it just kind of like loses momentum. It just kind of dies. And at first I had thought I had ran out of gas. All right, so that could be one culprit. That wasn't the problem. Fill it up with gas, didn't start. Had to take the tractor, tow it back in. It cooled down, and then I could kick it and start it again. So I know about this much about small engines, or any engines at all. So I talked to a friend of mine named Robert, and he grew up on a farm, and he does a lot of engine work and stuff like that. Not like it's like his #1 thing or anything, but he does know about stuff. What I know about engines, and what Robert agrees with, is there is 3 things that make an engine go. One is spark, one is oxygen, and one is fuel. You have to have the fuel. The fuel and the spark ignite, move a piston, which pulls in more air, and it just keeps the system going. It's an internal combustion engine. Just about every other engine in the world that that is out there works like that, except for electric. Electric is a whole different ball game. We're not even going down that path. So I've already checked the fuel. Now it could be bad fuel. All right. So fuel's only good for so long. I do put stabilizer in it, and all my other mowers, we have 3 mowers totally, and they're all running just fine. Okay, so don't think it's the fuel. There could be something in the fuel line, which I'm going to take apart the fuel line and check and replace the fuel filter. And this is what a fuel filter looks like. Okay, so make sure you get the fuel filter with the right microns for your machine, and if you blow through it, it should be clean. Okay, either way you should have something that's clean, but it does have an arrow which direction that is going back toward the engine from the gas tank, and if you blow through that, it'll be a lot easier to blow. So as long as this is good, then there's another problem I've got. Now there could be something in the fuel line itself. So while I have it apart going back to the tanks, I'm going to disconnect the lines from the tanks. I'm going to put an air hose on it and blow anything out to see if there's any dirt in there. I can't see down in the tank. As you can see on these tanks, there's really no way to see down because the opening's up here and over here, and the tank actually goes down, so I can't really see in the tank, but I'm going to grab a flashlight anyway to see if anything got in there. How could it get in there? It could have been in a bigger tank that we have on the farm and transferred in somehow, shape, or form. You just never know. I mean, you never know if anything's in there. That's why the fuel filters are around. But so that's one thing. The second thing I'm going to do today is I'm going to replace the spark plugs on the mower. I don't know the last time the spark plugs were replaced on it. It's a used mower that we got about 4 or 5 years ago, and have had a little bit of issue with it, but nothing that's been stopping us from mowing or whatever. And then it's been running good for 5 years, but now it's kind of like puttering a little bit. Oil's clean, real clean, and because being that we have 3 mowers, we run on 11 acres, it's not like we're running the heck out of the mower every week. So let's get started with this, okay? So let's get to it. Now in order to take this fuel filter off, you need a pair of pliers, and I kind of pulled this one back already, but there's usually 2 tabs on one side and 1 tab in the middle, and you can squeeze that and slide this back. Okay, now this one here was already moved down for some reason. And then what you do, first off, make sure that your fuel tanks are off. Not saying that Not saying that this is going to overflow or anything, but make sure your fuel tanks are off before you pull these out, if you can get it off. It wants to spin, but it doesn't want to come off. So that pretty much tells me that the person who owned this before we did probably never pulled this off here. They probably got this moved down and couldn't get it off. Now on the other side, one of the tabs on this tube is broke, so I can't just squeeze these two together and get that tab to move real easily, but I can try, and it did move. There is gas in this, as you can see. There's gas moving around. So I'd really like to get one side of this off, and then I got a quick temp fix here is a solo cup to get this dumped into, so then I can get this off of here. Solo cups are made of plastic, and as you can see on the back side of here, it's a 6, okay, for recyclable. And that 6 is not the same. It's not the same number that you would have on a gas can. I think those are like a 1 or a 2. So gas will not last long in this cup, okay? This cup will disintegrate like that. But it's something that I have that I can get down in here. So if I can get this side off, or get one of the sides to start to come off. So I may need to get a screwdriver to try to pry this up, but I really don't want to break it. I don't want to spill gas all over the place. So let's see if we can just pry this up a little bit with a screwdriver. If it wants to come, just getting it in there. Come on. And just keep on turning, that is what I'm doing, and just keep moving it up. As you can see, there's no gas coming from this way, but I'm still going to set this up here, and I'm going to turn this over into the cup a little bit, and I'm just going to keep twisting this thing around, move that back a little bit more. This little clip back some more. Like I said, the gas will start coming out soon. I'll pry it more with the screwdriver, get it up, get some leeway in there, get some, because it could be seized up a little bit from just the years of it being on here. I don't know how long it's been on here. So keep pushing that up, and then you can start twisting it more, and then get all that gas out of there. Like I said, I want to get this out of here as quickly as I can and put it someplace. But just to give you an idea, see how much dirt's in there? So this thing here has probably had its day, because it's, you know, it's got all that dirt in there. See now? Okay. So as you can see, the gas in here is starting to turn red, okay? So that means that it's already deteriorating. So if anyone ever talks to you and says, yeah, you can use a solo cup to hold gas, show them this video, because it's just deteriorating the cup totally. So if you did have to haul something someplace with a solo cup, make sure it's only like for a few seconds. Okay, so a little bit better angle on that. Okay, so this is, I don't know exactly what this thing is called, but basically the carburetor is over here in the middle of this, okay? So here's where the oxygen goes into the carburetor. There's a tube on each side, coming from each side of each overhead cam, that comes in the carburetor. So that is something else that I may need to look at, spray some carb cleaner in there, take this off, and see if the carburetor just gunked up in there. But, which is probably another thing that's going on. So this is the direction that the fuel is going. So I know it's going this way into the engine. So you see how easy that popped on there, and that's how easy they should be on. So I'm going to move this clamp back down on this side like that, and then that one there is good. I'm not putting the other one on yet because I want to see if there's anything in this tube. So I'm going to disconnect this from the gas tank on this side, back this off, and these tubes are awful dry is the best word I can give you on it. I don't think this is not going to come off of here. So, I mean, it's not even wanting to turn. Well, it did turn, so maybe it will come off. No, it's not going to come off. But I'm going to say these tubes need to be replaced, and this one up here, the air tube, I think it's an air tube, it's got to get replaced too. So alright, I was going to get an air compressor, but I'm just going to blow in it with my mouth. Figure there's no gas in it, and on the outside I'm not inhaling anything. So this one seems pretty clear. And that one seems pretty clear. So I don't think that's the real problem. So hopefully it's just the, hopefully we just have a problem with the fuel filter itself. Alright, so that's as far on as that will go. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to check out, see how clean the carburetor is. And this is not bringing you directly to the carburetor, or bringing me directly to the carburetor, but it might give me a little bit of an idea of how clean it is. I can at least get some carb cleaner sprayed down in it. One thing you really want to do if you're not comfortable with doing this kind of stuff like me is just take your time. Don't rush it. And you might actually get through it pretty quickly. Alright, I need to get a flashlight. Alright, so that's looking down inside of the vent for the carburetor, and it looks kind of like gassy and smells a little gassy. I'm not really concerned about the gas, but it does look a little dirty, so I'm going to get some carb cleaner and clean that out. So what I've done, I've got some carburetor cleaner, but I don't have a lot of pressure in it, as you can see. But I've cleaned around this inside of this pipe, this port I should say, I guess is what it's called. And I'm getting some carbon out. So I'm gonna go try a trick that I've learned and see if I can get some more air into this thing. Alright, so I'm gonna try this out. I don't know how well this is gonna work or not, but I need to get some air into this can. So I've got an air can, right? This shoots air. I'm going to line it up with the hole on this can and push both of them down, see what happens. got some air in there. Maybe if I turn it upside down, I might be able to get more in there. I don't know. Sounds like it's putting it in. Looks like it works. Alright, so let's get back into spraying some of this in there. There's not a lot in this can. As you can see, a little bit of air did work. I don't know how much to put in there. Like I said, I'm not really a mechanic, if you will, but I'm going to stuff this down in here just to get it out of the tube, but I'm hoping some of it got down under the carburetor. Okay, let's put this back together. Alright, the next thing I need to look at is the spark plugs, and there's one on this side, there's also one on the other side, and it's because it's a dual overhead cam. So I'm going to pry this out of here, and as you can see, I don't know if you can see that or not, but I'll get it out of here. It looks like it's pretty rusty right there. So if that's the case, then it's probably we're not getting any spark. So, or not good spark. Okay, hopefully that broke free and not broke the spark plug. Yeah, doesn't look like there's any gas on this at all, and that looks like a, I would say a brand new spark plug, but it doesn't look like there's any gas getting to it. Let me pull the other side and see what it looks like. Brand new with the shape of the spark plug that is there. Not brand new that it's all clean. Okay, so I think I'm going to replace these spark plugs. And then we'll, at least there's one more thing that I don't have to worry about. I mean, I probably can clean them up because it looks like they got pretty good, you know, enough terminals left inside there. But they, I'd rather replace them because I really do not know how old these are. And they look pretty rusted. This one here does. So I'm going to replace these. Alright, so ran up to local store here and picked up some spark plugs, and they should fit right on in here. At least I'm hoping they do. When you're putting spark plugs in, you don't want to crank them down really tight. You just want to snug them up. There we go. Put on this little spark plug wire. Okay, now I just need to put some gas in this thing and we'll be going to take it for a test run. All gassed up, ready to go, and see you guys in about an hour or so. Well, it looks like that's what the problem was. I have no idea. Fuel filter, change it out. I truly believe it's a mixture between the fuel filter and the spark plugs. I think the spark plug, one of them, as you saw, was kind of like really old. The other one wasn't as old, but I don't think they replaced both of them at the same time. I think what was happening is one of the spark plugs was getting hot and it wasn't firing as quick, and it was kind of stalling the engine out. Second thing, it could be that there was dirt in the other fuel filter. It was pretty black in there, so that could be another issue. I don't think anything was wrong with the carburetor. I did spray some carb clean into the exhaust area, you know, the air intake, and that would work its way down into the carburetor and burn, so that would clean if there was anything there. So if you are having this problem where you're running it for a little bit and it seems like it just doesn't have any power, then it just stalls out on you and you can't get it to start again. It's like you get a click, 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 and then you got to let it cool down and then it will start, but it still will get the hesitation on you like in like 30 minutes. This may be the problem. I think it's probably your spark plugs, honestly. Change out your fuel filter while you're at it. Make sure your gas has stable in it, because remember, there's only air, spark, and fuel that run in an ICE engine, an internal combustion engine. So if it is turning over, that means that you're definitely getting fuel. Okay, so your fuel line is pretty good, but change out that fuel filter anyway. If it does turn over, you're getting spark initially. Okay, and this is where my brain's going. You're getting spark initially, but if that spark plug gets too hot and it's old and it, you know, maybe the ceramic in it might be cracked a little bit or anything, it's going to stop firing. And then you're going to be not running on all cylinders and it's going to die. So that's what I think is going on. So changing the spark plugs, changing the fuel filter, make sure you got clean gas, stable gas, but like I said, if it's starting up already and burning, it should not be that. And obviously, if it is starting up, you are getting the air. So initially, you've got spark, you've got air, you've got fuel. One of them is failing. Gas isn't going to fail, right, if it's good. The air intake, probably not going to get clogged up while you're mowing. So it's got to be that spark. That's my theory. So again, you're always welcome back at the shop or on the farm. And as always, have a nice day.